What's going on, Liverpool fans? It's Ahmet back again with another video to talk about the very late and disappointing defeat that we had to Napoli last night, basically in the San Paolo Stadium in Naples. The performance was very bad. I mean, I'm not even gonna try to justify anything or try to cover over the cracks. It was a terrible performance from the team in general, especially the three players in midfield. Wijnaldum, Milner, and then Henderson, who came on to replace the injured Naby Keita. Now, hopefully, I'm praying to God, hopefully that nothing's happened to Keita, because if he's injured now for a prolonged period of time, then we're in some serious trouble, because that midfield that I watched last night is not even good enough to finish the league in the top six, to let alone to help Liverpool win the Premier League title. The players we have in midfield are not fast enough. They're not creative enough, and they don't have any vision. They can't carry the ball. They can't cause opposition teams trouble, basically, and they can't get us goals. You need a midfield of players that can score goals once in a while. But we're completely relying on three players up front. Mane, Salah, and Firmino. If they don't turn up, then we don't win the bloody game. And it's so obvious to see what Liverpool are now. This is why everybody in the summer wanted Nabil Fekir. Do you understand now? Does Klopp understand? Do FSG understand why we wanted Nabil Fekir? He would have been the perfect midfielder to run the game, to control the game, to even get a goal from midfield, to make a surging run into Napoli's part of the field, and then to take a magnificent shot and get the goal, maybe the winner of the game. But who did we have last night, man? We had bloody Milner, who's tired now. He's starting to get tired already. We're in the 8th game of the season. He's getting on a bit now. He's 33 years old. Of course he's going to get tired. And he's had to play some tough games in the last couple of weeks. But for the life of me, I don't understand. You've got Shaqiri on the bench, and he's got Fabinho, who he paid all that money for, and he keeps playing bloody Henderson, Klopp. It's like a joke, man. It really is. I don't understand sometimes with Klopp. I really don't understand what goes through his head. Is he stubborn, or does he think that playing Henderson is going to add anything to the team? It doesn't, Jurgen Klopp, man. It just adds energy. Energy is not enough in this day and age. You need to have quality players on the ball that can control the ball, that can play a good pass, that can get the ball and start running at the opposition defence, and try and set up a goal for his teammates. Henderson, his first thought is, all right, I've got the ball now. What do I do? Sideways, backwards, give it to the goalkeeper, waste some seconds. What is he supposed to do in the midfield, Henderson? He doesn't contribute anything to the fucking team, man. Wijnaldum, it's like he's playing on ice or something. He keeps slipping over. Yesterday he slipped, I think, twice. He nearly gave the ball to Napoli in very dangerous situations, where they're going towards our goal, basically, and he slips, he panics. I don't know what happens to him. He takes his eye off the ball, and within a couple of seconds, they're in on our goal, basically. And if they were a bit more, they're precise with their passing, a bit more clinical, they probably would have got a goal from it, And some of our fan base think that Wijnaldum is a good player. Henderson are good players. Are you joking? Are you taking the piss out of Liverpool, some of our fan base, telling us that these players are good enough when you know fully well that they're not good enough to play in a bloody mid-table team, let alone for Liverpool? It's just a fucking joke, man. We should never have lost this game, Of course, Napoli played better than us. We have to admit, but you cannot concede goals in the 89th minute of a game, man. The goal that Sturridge scored against Chelsea was a different kind of goal. It was a long-range effort, and he tried his luck, and he got the goal. But the goal we conceded last night, you could see it happening step by step. The passing, and then the cross into our area, and then Insigne just taps it in. You could see it happening before it even developed the goal. And we're asleep at the end of the game. Klopp even said to them in the 84th minute, 85th minute, keep the focus. He was making, hand, how do you say, gestures towards the players, telling them to be careful, to keep the concentration, the focus until the end. And what do? They lose their marker on the right side of the pitch. He gets beyond I can't remember who it was now, I think Robertson, puts the cross into the most dangerous area, the dangerous part of our area, and Insigne just taps it in beyond Alisson. Alisson had a good game, so did Gomez. But there's only so much that they can do. You can't rely on a goalkeeper to save you. How many times, man? How many times is he going to save you in a game? We didn't play well from the first minute until the 90th minute, maybe the first 10, 15 minutes we played decently. We started on a decent tempo. We looked like we were going to go attack Napoli and try and get a goal. But as soon as Keita came off, with that unexpected back injury, then I knew that something was not right. I had the feeling that we weren't able to win this game. We're not going to be able to win it, because when you see a player like Henderson come onto the pitch, it doesn't exactly put fear into the opposition, does it? Doesn't exactly fill Liverpool fans with any confidence. And we saw what he done, man. There's some people saying that we're making scapegoats of Henderson. Why do you think, man? Why do you think that Henderson is being made a scapegoat of? Because he's shit, that's why. He can't put two passes together. Every pass that he makes it sideways or backwards. So what does he add to the midfield? Nothing. He can't even get the ball to bloody Salah, Mane, Firmino, can he? He doesn't, because he doesn't want to play the ball forwards. He doesn't want to take a risk. He's so scared of making a mistake in the past that he doesn't do it anymore. He just picks the easy option. The safe option. I'll just give it sideways and let somebody else do something, try something. Fabinho would have been the perfect player to come on, man. Fabinho is a good player. Some of our media and some of our fans are saying that he's not ready. He hasn't adapted. What do you mean he's not ready, man? The man has played for Monaco in the Champions League 2 seasons in a row, 3 seasons in a row. Of course he's ready for European games. Are you joking? He was a great player in that team, in the Monaco team. What do you mean he's not ready? How can he not be ready? We're 3 months into the season, 2 months into the season, 2.5. How is he not ready for the team? You taking the piss? He puts on Shaqiri. How is Shaqiri ready and Fabinho's not ready? Explain that to me then. If Shaqiri is ready, then Fabinho is ready as well, because he's in the same team. He trains with the same players. How is he not ready to come into the first team? It just doesn't make any sense. And Klopp, for some reason, I don't understand what it is. Does he favour other players? He doesn't want to utilise Fabinho. He just keeps putting bloody Henderson into the midfield and ruining the game. Wijnaldum and Henderson ruined the game last night. Are we blind? Can we not see this as Liverpool fans? I don't want to rant. It's one defeat, the first defeat of the season, apart from the cup game that we lost to Chelsea. That was an unlucky defeat, in the final seconds, the final minutes of the game. So we can let that one slide, the League Cup. But in the Champions League, you can't be making these kind of mistakes, man, Jurgen. You can't be playing these kind of players in the Champions League, against teams like Napoli, against Paris Saint-Germain, against decent opposition. You can't have this kind of midfield, man. This is weak. When opposition teams see this midfield, they know that they can get beyond Liverpool. They know that they can create chances in Liverpool's area, because that midfield is easy to bypass. That midfield is easy to get around, and it doesn't have any quality. The players like Milner, Henderson and Wijnaldum, Milner is a workhorse. He's a very energetic player. He gives his all for the team, but he's getting old, man. He can't do it anymore like he used to. Wijnaldum had a couple of good performances at the beginning of the season, but since then he's gone back to the original Wijnaldum. He looks lost on the pitch. He can't play any good passes. Every time he gets the ball, he takes 1 hour to make a pass. And by the time he thinks what he's going to do, they take the ball off him. They tackle him. And we lose possession. Henderson, even worse. Keeps playing the ball sideways and backwards. And he's supposed to be the bloody captain of the team, Henderson. Come on, man. This is not good enough anymore for Liverpool, man. In January, we need to go out and buy Nabil Fekir. I'm not even joking. If anything serious has happened to Keita, God forbid, hopefully it's just a precaution and he was taken off. But if he's out for a prolonged period of time now, there's no two ways about it. You need to go out and buy a playmaker in January because this team is going to run out of steam. This team is not going to be able to do anything in the league. You know, we've done well to stay at the top of the league with Man City. Along with Man City now, we're level, but they overtake us, I think, by a goal difference. Doesn't matter. If we beat them on Sunday, we regain the lead anyway. We stay at the top of the league, but that's not the problem. The problem is going into the coming months of the season. If we play like this in midfield, we're not gonna be able to stay at the top of the league. We're gonna drop down. I'm telling you. We're gonna start losing points again because you can see it happening. It's been obvious for the last couple of games against Chelsea. Even the Southampton game, the second half, we won the game 3-0. But the second half, we didn't perform well at all. You know, at Anfield. We have to admit this, you know. We can't be that blind that we don't see the problems occurring in the team. Klopp, you know, we praise him as a manager. We said that he's done very well this season, at the beginning of this season. But he keeps making the same mistake, man. He keeps relying on Henderson and Wijnaldum. For God's sake, Jurgen, you know, wake up. This is going to be the downfall of Liverpool again, this midfield. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but it's going to happen because you can see it happening, man. You can see what Napoli did to us yesterday. The same is going to happen in the league as well. When you start playing City and you still got to play Arsenal, you know, Tottenham again, Chelsea again, Man United we haven't even played yet. When you start playing against these teams, they're going to find you out in midfield. They're going to find a way to get past you, to pass around you, and to finish you off. We can't keep going into games expecting Mane, Salah and Firmino to bail you out. It's not going to happen. Football is about compartments of the team. You need to have a good attack, a controlling midfield and an attacking midfield. You need to have a strong defence and you need to have a quality goalkeeper that can bail you out, that can make saves at critical times in the game. And this is what Alisson done. But the other players in the team didn't help him one bit, you know. The other players in the team just left him on his own, Alisson. How many saves does he have to make, you know? He's human after all. He can't save the team on his own, can he, Alisson? You know, because we paid 70 million for him, near to 70 million, doesn't mean that he's gonna constantly win you points. No goalkeeper in the world is able to do this, man. He's not Superman, is he? He's not a fucking superhero. He's a goalkeeper. But you need to have a defence that can help him. That can, stop the opposition from getting into the penalty area, from taking shots. But Trent Alexander-Arnold, another example. I said before that he's not good enough. He hasn't been playing good enough. Since the end of last season, he hasn't played well. He played rubbish in the Champions League final against Real Madrid. He was doing badly in the league games as well. And he's come into this season, he's still doing badly. He's still not playing well. Because he can deliver a couple of crosses doesn't mean that he should be in the team. You know, Klein is a better defender than Trent Alexander-Arnold. I've said this numerous times on my videos. But because Klopp, he just doesn't see the problems. He keeps persisting with the same players, man. Why don't you bring Sturridge on earlier? You're bringing him on with 2 minutes to go. It's like a joke. You're taking a piss out of Sturridge. The man got you an equaliser against Chelsea the other day. You should have brought him on with 20 minutes to go. You could see that Mane, Salah and Firmino weren't doing anything up front. They're not going to create anything. They're not linking up well. They're not clicking as a front three. So you need to change it a bit. You need to do something different. Bring on Shaqiri or bring on Sturridge. And he doesn't do it, man. God's sake, man. I'm just frightened that it's going to happen again, you know. I'm just frightened that we're going to go backwards again. And this is the end. If he doesn't achieve anything this season, Klopp, it's still early days. I might be going over the top a bit, but if we continue to play like this in midfield, and we think that we're gonna create chances, we're gonna actually beat teams with this kind of midfield, and the front three is not on form. They're not playing together as a unit like they were last season. We're not even going to be able to beat the mid-table teams, the lower teams in the league. We've won 6 out of 6 in the league, but, you know, it doesn't matter. We drew against Chelsea, but I think the next game after City is Huddersfield Town away on the 20th. Even that's not going to be easy, I'm telling you. Teams are going to figure out what we're doing wrong, and they're going to take advantage of it, like they did in previous seasons, you know. They're going to see that Liverpool are not clicking, so they're going to flood the midfield. They're going to keep a solid bank of 4 defenders at the back for you to try and get through, and you're not going to be able to do it, are you? Because in midfield, you need players that are creative, players that are able to take a risk, and they're able to, you know, take shots from long range. We don't have that anymore in midfield, man. How can you even expect a midfield of Henderson, Wijnaldum and Milner to do anything in a Champions League game? Away at Napoli, a team like Napoli, who play fast attacking football. You know, they needed to win the game. That's why they went for it at the end. But that doesn't mean that you concede in the 89th minute. You need to keep your focus for the 90 minutes. You need to keep the concentration. We could have easily got a point out of that game. You know, we rode our luck, of course. You know, they hit the bar. They had other chances. We rode our luck in the second half, but we were there. You know, a couple of more minutes and we would have got the point. And that would have been the end of the job. Then we have 2 games against Red Star Belgrade. I'm thinking 6 points because Paris Saint-Germain whooped them yesterday, 6-1 in France. So that shows me that they're an easy team to beat. They're not a good team, Red Star Belgrade. They're a weak team, you know. They're going to be the whipping boys of this group, Red Star Belgrade. And Liverpool have to beat them, home and away. But, you know, coming up against the big teams, I don't think that we'll be able to do anything with this kind of midfield, you know. Yeah, it's just a massive disappointment, man. I mean, I opened my big mouth and said that I jinxed it, you know, when I came back from holiday. A couple of weeks ago, basically, and since then Liverpool haven't won a game. You know, the day I came back, we beat Southampton 3-0, but on a Saturday, and since then we haven't won a game. We've lost to Chelsea in the cup, we drew with them in the league, and now we've lost to Napoli, and now we have to play bloody Manchester City on Sunday. The fixtures that have come up for Liverpool are just a joke. They really are. People are trying to ruin our season. They really, you know, I don't understand how they make the fixtures. The other teams have seem to have a much easier fixture list than Liverpool. But the fixtures that we've got, you know, we've had to play like 8 games in a row, 7, 8 games against good opposition. And of course the team has become tired, you know. The team has run out of steam. They've become tired. They're mentally and physically, they're tired. They can't cope with it anymore. And to make it even worse now, we have to play the league leaders, the champions of last year, Manchester City. Now, we've got the beating of Manchester City last year, but seeing the way that our midfield got overrun yesterday, it's looking very bleak, because if they have Kevin De Bruyne back, or even Riyad Mahrez, Leroy Sané, and you know, David Silva, Bernardo Silva, Ilkay Gundogan, these players are technicians, they're quality midfielders. They'll run the game for Man City in midfield. And they'll set the team onto attack and play the killer passes into the front players. And the way we're playing at the moment, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to cope with it, you know, the defence. I'm praying to God that we have another great showing like we did last year. And we whooped them 4-1, you know, we were 4-1 up. And they got 2 goals back at the end of the game, you know, the 85th minute or the 88th minute or something like that. So it ended up 4-3, but it was pretty convincing from Liverpool. We deserved to beat them in the league easily. Should have been 5 or 6-1, and it ended up 4-3. But to play this kind of football, you need to have a good quality midfield that is able to make the passes, able to make the runs into the opposition penalty area, and to lay it off to the strikers. But they're not on form as well, are they? That's another worry. You know, the likes of Mane, Salah and Firmino are not playing well the last couple of games, 3 games, 2 or 3 games. So I'm thinking that Klopp might need to change the team about a bit. He might have to put Shaqiri up there or Sturridge, and then keep Mane as an impact sub Salah as an impact sub and bring them on later on if you need to, because looking at the way they played yesterday, they seem like they're lost. They don't even have any enthusiasm for the team anymore. There seems to be some kind of disharmony. I don't know what it is between Salah and Mane, but something's going on there because Mane looks like he's pissed off. Salah looks like he's lost morale for some reason. He had an outstanding season last season. What's happening with Salah, man? I don't understand. Did he want to move and they didn't allow him to move or something? Because he looks like he's pissed off as well, Salah. He looks like he couldn't give a toss about the team anymore. He just doesn't look interested anymore. Firmino tries, but as I said last season, Firmino is not a prolific goal scorer. Firmino is not a number 9. He can't be, man. He's not that type of player. He can play behind the strikers, and he can score goals once in a while, but he's not a prolific goal scorer. We needed somebody like Timo Werner, a player like that, or even Michy Batshuayi, the Chelsea player that is on loan now. I think he's playing for, who is it? Valencia, yeah. He played against United the other day. We need somebody like him, a poacher in the area, Or even Divock Origi. Why does Klopp not utilise Divock Origi? You've kept him in the squad in the summer, so put him onto the bloody bench. You keep putting bloody Moreno on there. What's Moreno going to do, Klopp, man? Sometimes I don't understand what he does, Klopp, honestly. I don't understand what his thought process is behind picking certain players. Moreno is not good enough to be anywhere near Liverpool's squad. Come on. You've seen him perform over the years. What has he done? Apart from mistakes. What has he contributed to the team? Nothing. You should have another striker there, like Divock Origi. Last season we had Ings and Solanke, 2 strikers, and this season we don't even have 2 strikers. We've only got 1, Sturridge. Shaqiri is more like a winger. He's not a striker. He's a midfielder, winger. So we need another one there. You need someone like Origi to stay up front, man. You need to have someone with pace, with skill, technical ability to get into the penalty area and to get you goals. Origi can supply this, but he doesn't utilise him. He doesn't play him, Klopp. I don't understand what he's trying to do in the last 2 or 3 games. And we seem to be going backwards. Instead of progressing, instead of becoming better, we're going backwards again now. And just when Keita was going to start coming into the team, he's now injured. Hopefully it's nothing serious. And he's not out for a long spell on the sidelines. Because if he is, then we don't have anybody in midfield that can change the game. We really don't have anybody. We can't keep expecting Milner to perform miracles. The man is 33 years old. He's going to get tired. He's already tired now at the beginning of the season because he's had to play good teams. He's had to play quality opposition and it's tired him out, So we need to have something different that we can use in the midfield area. Fabinho is the perfect player. Even Ben Woodburn should be playing in midfield. He should be a sub. But Klopp just doesn't seem to use these players for some reason. It's just baffling. It really is. And we lose the game to Napoli. It's only 1 defeat, I know. We've still got 4 games to go in the Champions League. It doesn't ruin our chances. We can still get out of the group. We're still in a good position to get out of the group. But this is not only the Napoli game. This is the past 3 or 4 games. We haven't played well. We haven't been performing to our normal standards, to the quality that we know we have. And I'm starting to think that Klopp's tactically he's not good enough, in certain games. Tactically, he doesn't know how to set the team up. He doesn't know what system to use against certain opposition. We're starting to have the same problems as last season, where we drew so many games. I think in October and November, again, we started to lose games. We started to draw games. And because he didn't use Coutinho, because Coutinho was going to be sold, so he didn't put him into the team. And then as soon as Coutinho comes into the team, we start blitzing teams again. We start blowing them away, the other teams. And until he left in January, he was working wonders, Coutinho, playing some outstanding football. We need a player like that. the perfect player for that position is Nabil Fekir. Everybody said this in the summer. We said it in the summer transfer window. We need to go out and buy this player. You know, it's all well and good that you've bought Keita and Fabinho, but he doesn't even play Fabinho. So what was the point in buying him? That's the question that I'm asking Klopp. What was the point in going out and buying this player if you're not going to utilise him? They're saying adaptation. He hasn't adapted yet. What are you talking about, man? This man has played in the Champions League the past 2 seasons, Fabinho. He's been playing regularly in the French league. What do you mean he hasn't adapted? Of course he's adapted. You know, it's got nothing to do with adaptation, adopting to the system. It's got nothing to do with this. There's something else going on. There's favouritism. Klopp just seems to think because Henderson is the captain, he feels that he needs to play him all the time. He's not good enough, Klopp, man. He's not good enough to play in Liverpool's team anymore, Henderson. You need to have someone that is much better, that is much more cleverer on the ball, that is much more efficient on the ball, you know, plays quality passes into the front players, that can take the ball, that can beat a few players, get crosses into the area. Henderson, I haven't seen Henderson deliver a cross for probably 2 or 3 years. He's not even in that position to put crosses into the area. You know, who are we supposed to rely on? What, we're going to rely on Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold to come up from the back and deliver crosses? This is not a good way to play football, man. They need to do their defensive job first. The midfield needs to have the quality available to deliver good crosses into the area. If we had a decent midfield, they could do the job for the fullbacks, and they would concentrate on their defence. Look, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he got caught out against Chelsea again for the Hazard goal in the league game. He's going up the pitch. He doesn't need to go that far up the pitch. He needs to be following Hazard. You know, you conceded a goal in the cup game a few days before the league game, and you make the same mistake, and you allow him to get in behind you, and he takes the ball and then puts it past Alisson for 1-0. And we were fortunate that Sturridge got that goal, because we would have lost that game as well. That would have been 3 defeats in a row. You know, the Chelsea Cup game, the league game, and then the Napoli game last night. 3 defeats in a row it would have been. You know, it's not good enough, because this means that defensively, you know, Van Dijk and Gomez played very well. They seem to be in tandem. They seem to have formed a good partnership in the centre-back position. But if your full-backs, you know, your right-back and your left-back are not good enough, then you're going to concede goals again. You're going to give chances away, because opposition teams will see them as weaknesses and they'll try and exploit it. They'll try and get in behind them, and that's what they've been doing the past 2 games. Chelsea did it to Trent in the league game where Hazard scored, and then last night again Robertson got caught out on the flank, and Callahan gets the ball into the area and Insigne taps it in for an 89th minute bloody winner, when we should have got a point from that game. You know, a point from that game would have been like a victory again, because from now on it's going to be easier for Liverpool. 2 games against Red Star should yield 6 points for Liverpool, and then if we can beat Napoli at Anfield, then that finishes it off. Or even if we get a draw against Napoli at Anfield, we still get 11 points. You know, 9, 10, 11 points, that's enough to get you into the second round, into the round of 16. Anyway, Klopp, tactically last night he was undone. And the players that he picked for the team were not good enough. He needs to see this now and create a team that is capable to beat Manchester City. Don't even go into that game trying to get a draw, Liverpool. Klopp, do not even go into that game trying to get a draw. You need to win it. We need to play a good game, a fast game, and just go out there and blitz Manchester City. If we beat them and we go 3 points ahead of them in the league, that will stand us in good stead after the international break, because the games from now on are going to be easier for Liverpool. You know, we're playing the likes of Huddersfield Town, Cardiff, I think, and a few other weak teams, you know, from now on. So we're going to have easier games, I think, until the first week of November, where we play Arsenal. The rest of the teams that we're playing are going to be pretty easy. The 3 games that we've got coming up: Huddersfield, Cardiff, and there's one other game, I can't remember it now, but These games we should be getting 9 points. 7 to 9 points at minimum. Well, 9 points is the maximum, so we should be getting 9 points if possible. But my fear with Liverpool is that we're going to run out of steam because of our midfield, the lack of creativity, the lack of quality in midfield, and we can't feed the front players. Then hopefully it doesn't happen, but we might even end up running out of steam, and then we're in big trouble because we're going to get overrun in the midfield area. We're going to concede possession, and then as soon as teams get in behind Alexander-Arnold and Robertson, then we're going to start giving chances away. And against the best teams, you're going to concede goals. The teams like Napoli, quality teams, Man City, this and that, even Arsenal. Arsenal have a good attack, We should not take Arsenal lightly. Arsenal, we battered them last season 4-0 and 3-3 at the Emirates. And another game we should have won. But this season, they're looking very good going forward, Arsenal. The likes of Aubameyang, Mkhitaryan, Lacazette. Very, very good team. Even Welbeck getting on the score sheet. They seem to be playing with more freedom. They seem to be playing good attacking football now, Arsenal. So that game at the Emirates is going to be key for Liverpool in the Premier League. The first key game is Sunday. We need to make sure that we beat Manchester City. Somehow and some way we need to beat them. Even 1-0 will do me as long as we beat them. We get the 3 points. I'm even thinking that Klopp should drop Salah, because he hasn't played well at all. Salah. He doesn't look like he has any confidence. Sturridge should be somewhere on the pitch, or even Shaqiri, because if we play Salah again and he plays like that, then he's not going to create any trouble for Man City. He's not going to create any chances. So we need to have a think about that in the team that he puts out. And that's the end of the video, Liverpool fans. Sorry to give you a headache, sorry to rant again, but I think that we need it now because Klopp needs to get into the players now. He needs to get into their heads and tell them that you're in a very critical part of the season before the international break. You need to perform. You need to step up the level again, because if we allow the standards to drop again, we're going to start falling away again in the league. We're going to start falling down the league, and we've already exited the League Cup, so that leaves us with only the FA Cup really again. Champions League is going to be very difficult because even if we get out of this group, the way that we play in midfield against the better teams, we're not even going to, we're not going to get past the round of 16. I don't think we are anyway. Doesn't look like we're capable this year. We're not good enough. We beat PSG, but even in that game, we gave them 2 goals. We allowed them to come back into the game. And if we do that again against, Barcelona or Real Madrid or, for instance, who else was there? Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich. These kind of teams, if you do that again, you're going to get punished severely. If there was a better team than Napoli last night, we would have lost that game 3-0 in the second half. They had chances. They had many chances, and they hit the bar as well. We can't allow teams to overrun us in midfield, to get crosses into the area like that. Against the better teams, the more potent teams, we're going to get punished severely and lose the game. So this is a wake-up call basically for Liverpool, and we need to take the warning signs. We need to hear those warning signs and to make, try and play like we did last season. Start getting to that level again, that standard of football, because we're nowhere near last season. Football-wise, we've won the games, but we're nowhere near playing as well as we did last season. So we need to get back to that fluent attacking football. If we can do that, we're going to beat 80% of the teams, 85% of the teams that we come up against in the league and in Europe. And I'm expecting 6 points from the Red Star Belgrade matches. We should be getting 6 points. If we can't beat this team, then it's finished. We're not even going to get out of the group, Liverpool. We're not even going to progress from the group. So anyway, Liverpool fans, not to worry you. This is just my 2 cents worth of what happened last night and what's been happening in the last 2 or 3 matches. I hope to God that we improve. I hope to God that we start playing good football again, because going into the international break, we don't have any momentum. And when we come back from the break, they're going to be tired again because they're going to be on international duty. And the foreign players that we have are going to be with their countries. And hopefully they're not knackered by the time they come back to the team again. On the 20th of October, we play Huddersfield Town away. Now, they're at the bottom of the league, but they're going to want to turn Liverpool over. I'm telling you. If they see Liverpool's weaknesses, they're going to want to get a point at least. And they're going to figure out how to play against us, even them, even the weaker teams in the league. So we need to start going into the game with the mentality that we had last season, to blitz teams, to blow them away in the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And we can do it. But there's something going on in the front three. They're not clicking. They're not gelling. I don't know what it is. Is it starting to become selfishness? Is it some kind of egotistical thing happening between Mane and Salah? They don't seem to be playing with each other. They don't seem to be helping each other out on the pitch. And this is not good for Liverpool going into the future games. We need to do something different. Maybe give them a rest, bring on Shaqiri and bring on Sturridge, because we can't keep relying on these players all the time. And they haven't performed this season, really. If you look at the truth of the matter, they haven't performed to the top level, and it's gonna come back to bite us. Really, we need to do something different. Anyway, Liverpool fans, thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Make your comments in the comment section below. It will be very much appreciated. And come on, you Reds! Basically, we need to beat Manchester City. There's no two ways about it. We can't afford to go into the international break having dropped down to third in the league or second, because City will not allow us to get back into it again. I'm telling you, City now have got the bit between their teeth. They're starting to gel. They're starting to play like last season, and they're now level with us on points at the top of the league. And if they do Liverpool, if they beat us again, hopefully not, then that's the end of it. We're not going to get back into it. Chelsea are there as well this season. It looks like Chelsea are going to be there the entire season, you know, fighting for the top spots in the league. And yeah, even Tottenham. If Tottenham beat Cardiff, they go 1 point behind us before the City game. So there's going to be 3 or 4 teams in the mix before the international break. Chelsea play Southampton away. That could be a tricky game for them. But I feel that with the way they're playing, they're going to win that game again. So Liverpool we need, there's not even a doubt about it, we need to beat Manchester City just to stay at the top of the league and to lower their morale, basically, to take their confidence away. Because if they get up ahead of steam again, Manchester City, they're going to run away with it again, like they did last season. And we're going to be eating their dust again. 25 points was the gap last year. But we beat them 3 times, and we were still 25 points behind them. So it's unbelievable, you know, because we drew so many games at Anfield. We weren't able to kill teams off, the teams that we should have beaten. And yeah, we ended up with a massive 25-point gap between the champions and between us, 4th place. So yeah, that's about it, Liverpool fans. Thank you. Thank you for watching the video, and make your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you thought about the Napoli game, what needs to change, what players need to come into the first 11, the tactics that Klopp should be employing, you know, the system that he should be playing, and we'll speak again, you know, probably before the Man City game. I might make another video on Saturday, Friday or Saturday, to go over the game, to analyse the game, to preview the game, basically. Yeah. Anyway, talk to you later. Thanks for watching, and take care of yourselves.